We're live. Hi.
Hello. It takes a second. Nobody knows that we're here yet, but they will, and they'll see the like when it comes back. Hello, puppy.
It's true. I
Who
haven't
is
gotten a
that?
notification yet, so
Hey,
it's not
there's
up yet.
Heather. Say hi to Heather.
Hello. Little
Jakey.
doggo.
He's like looking, going, "What's that? Well, what is it, Mom? Where's the voice
Funny.
coming from?
Oh,
Where's
there
the
it is.
voices?" We got it now.
There it is. We're on.
Hello, everybody. Let us know that you're here. Karen Harbaugh. Woohoo! 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 How's it coming with your approval, sweetie? Now I have to find it. Let's see. Icing Images. That would be us. Da, 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 da. Hey, as everyone comes on, please
Hi, Carol.
share.
How you doing?
I love you, Carol. Hold on. I love when you turn on the radio and one of your favorite songs comes on right away. It's the best.
Why? What was your favorite song?
I don't know the name of it. It was on when you were in the car with me because I said I love this song. It goes, hold on. I don't know the words.
Was it the Rose one?
No, that's Love is a Rose and you better not pick it.
Right. I thought that was the one you're talking about.
No, it was a real song.
Oh.
It's called My Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not really a happy song because their town is screwing up and he's like basically saying his dad's going to roll over in his grave because of it. But I love the song, the melody. It's like a round song. So it's bad.
Oh, that's funny. Too funny.
Okay. Howdy ho, hi, Stacy.
Hi, Julie. Whoops. Come back.
Debbie is in the wonderful spring air. I know it's perfect up here. It's perfect. Like this is my here. Let's turn around. Hey, everybody. Ooh, I can't see where.
Oh, quit bragging.
I'm bragging. You're in the snow. You chose to live there. See, it's perfect. Perfect.
We still have 3 feet of snow on the ground.
Skies are blue with some of those cumulus clouds. I remember that from high school science. Probably the only thing I remember. So pretty.
Oh, man.
Hamlata, welcome. I'm sorry if I screwed up your name. It's part of my MO. Julie Baker from Canada, welcome. She's got a friend.
Hello.
You have a friend in me. You have a friend in somebody else from Canada.
It's true. But she doesn't live close to me, I'm sure.
I have not.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Debbie is frozen. Am I frozen? Debbie is totally frozen. Hi, Laura. There's no Debbie. Debbie, you back? Nope, Debbie is frozen. Hi, Becky.
Me?
Oh, there you are. Hi, Barbie. No.
She's taught. Who sees who?
You were frozen.
I'm the one that's moving on my screen.
I'm the one moving on my screen. Mm-hmm. You're frozen. Okay. Carol, you have a friend in me. Yes. Debbie is frozen. Okay, the sky blue and warm spring air is beautiful. Oh, yeah. It was really warm here today. It was beautiful today. And then it gets cold in the evening. Yep. Debbie's gone. She's just gone. I don't know where she went. Oh, it's just me. I'm by myself now. That is too funny. I don't know if she's coming back. I don't know. We'll give her a minute. And if she doesn't come back, I'll just start. See what happens. Hi, Carol Ann. How you doing? Light a fire under. Well, I'd like to, but I can't reach her. She's too far away. Debbie did go blue. She went totally blue, and then she's going. The superstars have their takeover. I've totally taken over. They've left me in the lurch. Okay. I'll just start, I guess. I don't really know. Lori, do you want me to just start without Debbie? I don't know what to do. Oh, there's Lori. Hi, I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Deb has gone away. She'll be back.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll let you get started.
Okay, perfect. That's fine.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Lori.
Yep. Bye.
Goodbye. Okay. So my name is Heather Salmon Canes, and I go by Heather Salmon on Facebook. And my business is Carlo Cakery, and I'm in Florenceville, Bristol, New Brunswick, Canada. It's a very small little town, and yeah, so I'm just your small town average girl wearing kitty ears. Let's see. That's who I am, Carol. That's who I am, with the wild and crazy hair. So I am going to show you today a couple of new techniques that I've developed using Sólo sheets. And Debbie has kits online or on her shop that you can order and have everything you need basically to do these Sólo flowers. I need a drink of water because I'm really dry. Holy cow. It's very dry in here. Hang on 1 second. And yes, it's actually water. I'm an Instagram rock star. Well, I don't quite know how that happened. That's still trying to figure that one out. When I do, I'll try to share that with you guys. So the other thing I wanted to tell you is I've started a group page. I haven't gotten anything on it yet, but it's called Creative Sugar with Heather Salmon. And if you guys wanted to go over and join that, you can. I'll be sharing different demos on there here and there and doing some lives. And I'll also be sharing some classes on there that eventually that we'll be able to get going. But it'll show everything from, because I basically, I don't specialize in any one thing. I do all kinds of different things. And it's because of where I live that I had to learn how to use all these different mediums. So I'll be showing everything from painting to royal icing to sculpting with modeling chocolate to fondant work to whatever. And you can also put in requests on there of what you'd like me to do. Like I know Becky was asking about doing the wafer paper tool. So that'll be one of my first demos on there so that Becky can make her tool skirts. Anyway, so I'm going to flip you down and hopefully I'll try to guide myself because I don't know where again. Oh, it's Creative Sugar. I think it's called Creative Sugar. Yeah, the Creative Sugar with Heather Salmon. And you just search that group and then hit join and I'll accept you in and we're good to go. So just don't expect anything right away because I'm kind of swamped for this week, but start of next week, I'll start putting some stuff up. Okay. You want me to do a song and dance? Big wheels keep on turning. Proud Mary keeps on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. There, that's all you get. Okay, so I'm going to flip you down and hopefully I can get you in the right position so you can see what I'm doing. In the kit, as I flip you down, I'll just tell you what's in the kit. I feel like I should have had you a different way. But anyway, we're going to go this way. And there's a delay, so you're going to have to just hang on for a second. Thank you, Stacy, for putting that up there. Appreciate it. Okay. I think I can probably go with that. I think that'll be okay. All right. So get this tightened in. So I realize I'm upside down, so I'm just going to flip things around here. In the kit, you get, I believe it's 6 Sólo sheets. It might be more. But you know, I can do more. Yes, I can do more. We all know I can go like wild and crazy with singing and dancing. Thank you, Carol Ann. Excuse me. So in the kit, you'll get a pack of the edible markers from Debbie. And I think it's 6 Sólo sheets. And you'll get one of Pepsi Cake's highlighter, bling highlighter dusts. It'll either be rose gold or silver. These are, if you haven't used these before, they're beautiful. Pepsi has great colors. I love them. They're just gorgeous. And I use them a lot on a lot of my edible work. And look how sparkly it is. It's so sparkly. I love bling. Anyway, so what you will need to start out with this is your kit from Debbie, or if you have these at home, you just need these, a few cello sheets. And the cello sheets, if you don't know what they are, most of us, I think most of you on here have used them, but in case you haven't, they are basically an edible, it's almost edible cellophane. So as you can see, it's kind of like it slightly looks like plastic, but it isn't. It's totally edible. It comes on an acetate backing, and my climate is so dry here that it peels off right now. If there's humidity in the air, however, it doesn't peel off, and you actually have to use an X-Acto knife to score the edge of your cello sheet. And then what I do is I just flip the cello sheet over and peel it. I'm trying to get a hold of it here. Sometimes it's hard to get a hold of it off the mats when I have my gloves on. So, and this one, as you can see, it's like, it's broken off because that's how dry it is in my climate right now. So what I do is I just flip it over once I figure out which side is actually the cello sheet. And the way to do that is just to dip your finger in a little bit of water and touch both sides of the acetate and the cello and see which one is sticky. And that will tell you the sticky side is the cello sheet. So again, you just make a little score mark and kind of peel the cello back just like this away from your score mark. And then I pull the sheet off, the acetate sheet off gently so you don't crack it or bend it or whatever. And then the cello sheet is free and clear of the acetate. Now I always keep, of course, there's a little piece that's stuck there. That's okay. I always keep my acetate sheets because I can use them for other things. And I'll show you one thing that we'll use them for is that's the second technique, but I'll be doing it on the acetate sheet that's left over. Okay. So the other thing you'll need is, I'm just going to move my cello aside here, and where it's clear, it's really hard to see sometimes. So just keep an eye on where it is. You need a little bit of water. So just clear water. Hi, Jessie Ann. Hi, Catherine. What's the difference between cello and semi-transfer? Semi-transfer is one that you can print on, and then you can pour isomalt on it, and it will pull the image off onto your isomalt. Or I know Brooke did a live with it where she can put it on chocolate, and then it'll pull the image off the transfer. So it's actually, and that's why they're called semi-transfer sheets, because it's actually transferring your graphic onto whatever it is that you want it to be put on. So whether it's a sucker or a chocolate bar or something like that. So that is what the difference is. This one, you can still print on it, but it doesn't transfer. It actually has to be incorporated into the sugar piece itself, or pour ice malt over it so it actually will blend into the sugar piece. That's how this one's used. But there's so many uses for it, and I'm having fun playing with it to figure out new uses and fun things to do with it. So, okay. I'm just gonna, oh, I gotta get that piece off there because it's getting in my way. Get out of my way. All right. So then the other thing you need is something silicone, like a silicone mat of some kind that's flat. You don't want anything that has, like, this is actually a lace mat, but you don't want to use the lace side. You want to use the back side. The back side is good. Or if you want your petals to have some veining in them, you can use a veining mat. So this one is a Wilton mat that I've had for years and years, and you can build your petals up right on top of this, and it will give some of those lines of the veins that you'd like to see in your flower. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and the other thing you'll need, and this also comes in your kit, is Little Honey's glue, FYI. And that's what we'll use to glue the flower together in the end. Okay. One thing is that I will warn you, this is not instant gratification. You have to let the cello dry fully before you can actually assemble your flower. But don't worry, once it gets dry, it is so beautiful that it's worth the wait. Trust me. Oh, your laptop decided to update. Okay, so I thought I had a pair of scissors right here. I have no scissors. Okay, just a second. So even though it's dry in here, that doesn't want to break, but I want it to break. So just hang on one split second until I find a pair of scissors. Oh. Scissors, where are you? Oh, they're there. Okay. So I'm just going to take a piece of my Sólo. I hope you guys can see that because it's so thin and clear that it's really hard to see it. And I'm just randomly going to cut pieces. Nothing, you can see it broke there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just little pieces, okay? Just like that. Then I'm going to take, oh, let's see, what color should I do? I think some of my pens are still in my travel bag from Austin. I think I'll do orange and we'll do red. That'll be kind of pretty. Okay. So I'm just taking 2 of my edible pens. Oh, is that orange? Yes, it is orange. Okay. Taking 2 of my edible pens, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to scribble anywhere, just randomly onto the Sólo. Just very random. And don't worry if it breaks. It doesn't matter. If a little piece snaps off, don't throw it away. Save it because you can use it on top of your puddle. You can still incorporate it. Okay. So there's just very random. I hope you can see that. Let me know if you can see that, the color on it. It's hard to tell here if you can. Hi, Rebecca. Okay, so I've got the orange on, and I'm just going to take, just because I want to, I'm just going to put a little bit of red on it. So I'm just going to, again, just scribbling wherever I feel like I want some color. Just anywhere, any little bits of places that look like they might need a little snap of color, because in the end, that isn't going to matter, and you'll see why in just a minute. Okay, so are you with me? Perfect. Hi, Marcia. So now here's where the water comes in. So I'm going to do it without the veiner this time. So I'm just going to take this and dip it into my water. And you see what's happening already? And you kind of have to work quickly because Sólo gets goopy and slimy, okay? So it's starting to get slimy right here. You can see it right there. So you want to put it down pretty quickly, okay? I'll just set this aside so you can get a look at that. Now, all of those colors are starting to blend together like a watercolor. Can you see that? Carol, can you see that? Because my video seems to be really grainy. Ah! I don't know why that video seems to be really, I don't know why I'm getting feedback. That was weird. Anyway, okay, showing up great. Perfect. All right, so from here, sometimes what I'll do, I don't know why I'm getting feedback. I hear something, I don't know why. Okay. So sometimes from here, I'll just move the Sólo into a bit of a petal shape at this point. Just the edges, just push them around where I want them. Lori, I'm getting feedback for some reason. I don't know why. It might be from Debbie. I don't know. Debbie, are you there?
I am, but I muted myself because you said that.
Oh,
can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Hello. Sorry.
Hello.
Big reboot.
Okay. So now I'm going to let that one sit. But then what you do, because only doing one coat of this just isn't quite enough. You have to have a few coats in order to make it substantial enough to actually be able to peel it off of this and have something that you can manipulate as a petal. So I'm going to take my colors again. And always make sure you close these so they don't dry out on you, because that sucks when that happens. It's happened to me before because I'm a bit of a squirrel and forget and walk away and dry my little markers out. So, and you don't have to color every single piece of Sólo that you put on your petal. Keep that in mind. Just enough to get some color going through it. If you want it really a deep color, then you can color it more or whatever you'd like. Okay. Hi, Jackie. So there we go. So I've got a little bit on there. And then I'm going to dip it in the water again. Just slide this out of the way. Whoops, it's getting stuck to me. So I'm dipping in the water again. And it immediately starts to look like watercolor just because all of the marker starts to bleed together, all those colors. And then you just lay it down on top of the last one. Let it sit there for a couple of minutes and you'll see some really cool things happen. It kind of sucks into each other. It's the coolest thing. I love it. I love that effect. And then I'm just going to pull that piece down because again, I'm trying to keep that petal shape to some degree. And you can make these as big or as little as you want. There's another piece. I'm just going to fold it in.
So Heather,
yeah.
Catherine Donner had a question. I don't know if it was answered because I wasn't on.
Okay.
But she said, what is the difference between Sólo sheets and semi-transfer sheets?
Oh, I did answer that one. I did.
Okay, good.
I did catch that one. Yeah,
woo-hoo.
I caught it.
Did she answer it okay, Catherine? You know, she's a squirrel, so she gets lost sometimes.
I am a squirrel. It happens.
Squirrel.
Totally. So one thing you can do, if you get a lot of excess water, you can just pick it up with your brush and get rid of it. Or you can take a piece of paper towel, which I didn't bring any in with me, and just dab that off because you don't want any of this stuff, like just to clean up your edges and keep it nice and tidy. So now I'm just going to put on clear. Get my scissors again. And the other thing you'll note is as soon as you touch the Sólo sheet with your wet fingers, you're going to stick to it. So just keep that in mind. So I'll dip into my water with my clear piece that I'm not putting a color on and just lay it over again. And I'm going to do a couple of layers of that. Just to make it thick enough so once it's dry, it actually has some substance. Although it's still very thin and looks fragile, it gives it some strength. Okay, grab my brush and clean up some of that water. See, this is what I don't want, because if you have that water on the edge, then it kind of bleeds the Sólo out to the edge and out past your edge that you want. So just clean it up a little bit with, like I said, a brush or a piece of paper towel. Okay. And from here, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it a little better. There's some bubbles that are forming in there and the beautiful bleed of all those colors together. It's just so pretty. So what I'll do now is I'm going to put it in my dehydrator. And
can you pull it before you put it in there? Can you pull that a little closer to you?
To me?
Because it's off screen. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, sure. Yeah. So I'm going to put it in my dehydrator and it takes about, I'm going to say around 20 minutes at, I think it's 155 that I put it in, or 159 degrees Fahrenheit, and just let it go. And then you can keep checking it every 10 minutes or so just to make sure that it's not completely brittle, because you don't want it brittle. You want to be able to peel it off and have a little bit of give left in that petal to manipulate the shape. Okay, so I'm going to pop that into my dehydrator.
Pop, pop.
Turn it on. It's 158 degrees Fahrenheit, just so you know. And then turn it on and we'll let it go. And we'll move on to, I'll show you how to do the one with the veiner. So here's the veiner. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Get a drink of water. In a regular oven, just put it at the lowest temperature possible, I think, in your regular oven, Jesse, because it's around 170, isn't it? Is that right? I think that's right. So just at the lowest possible temperature and keep checking it. I would check it in the oven every 5 minutes just to make sure that it doesn't get too crispy. And you can also let this air dry. If you don't have a dehydrator and you're using your oven for something else, you can also let it air dry. Just know that it's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to actually make these ones a bit smaller because the middle of this pad is a little shorter than what I was making before. Oh, see, there's little pieces, little tiny pieces. Get back here. So I'm just going to cut it a bit smaller. Oops, broke another piece. And don't worry, if you break little pieces off, you can still use them. So this one, I think I'll just do with orange. Oops, and I broke it again.
Hey, Heather.
Yeah.
How many total layers was that? Stacy wants to know.
That one that I just put in was 4. You can do more layers. It just depends on your personal preference for how thick you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
The thinner that they are, the more movement you can get on them. The thicker, the stronger they are. So it's just your personal preference on what you're using them for. Like on my little top hat cookie, I think that one I used 5 layers of the Sólo just to make sure it was going to make it there and not bust all to crap before I got to Texas in my carry-on.
Yeah. Carol Fisher said that she had found that found if you have halogen lights, they are great at drying out the Sólo sheets or the Flex
cool.
Sólo and Flex Fall sheets.
That's cool. Okay, so I have 1 layer down, and I noticed that this little corner isn't quite wet enough, so I'm just taking my brush and adding a little bit of water to it to wet it down so it sticks to itself. And then take that excess away as best as possible. On the mats, these mats, I find it's a little harder to get the water off, but if you have paper towel, you can just dab it off. That'll work. And then I'll show you the other way, one of the other ways that you can control the amount of water you're using a bit better. And it's just simple. I'll just get another piece here of Sólo and get some more color on here. There we go. I'm sticking to it. So you can actually just take your paintbrush and dab some water on there. You don't want to brush back and forth because it's actually going to blend out your colors too much, because you still want that watercolor kind of look. So it looks natural, like a nice natural bleed on the petal. So just get some water on it. Dab away. And then flip it over, and you have to do the back side as well to make sure it's saturated enough. And then I find dipping it easier, but some people will probably find it easier to do it with the brush. And then lay it down, and see it's still not quite as wet as that first layer. So just take your brush with water and press those pieces in where you want them for your petal in that shape. So just press them around, in and around.
I love the look of that. There's a flowers I think we used to make as kids. I don't know the names of them, but they had that cellophane look to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called though. I don't remember, unfortunately, but I can visualize them.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if anybody else knows.
I don't know. But I mean, I just love how this Sólo acts with the color in it. I mean, and with the water, it just gives that, it's such an interesting texture that comes out of that. And the bubbles, I love the bubbles. You could pop the bubbles if you want, but I think the bubbles are fantastic for texture. In my own opinion.
Agree. It looks like glitter.
It does. It's so pretty. And the more I find, the more texture that comes on the petal, the more it shows up when it's dry. Once you put the highlighter bling on it from Pepsi, it just pops all of those beautiful textures. So now I've got my enough color on there. So now I'm just going to dip another piece. So this is layer number 3. And it's a bit of a bigger layer. So again, I'm just going to take my brush and fold all that in. And you see how quickly it gets gooey, but you can still manipulate it to get it where you want it. Not with your fingers though, it'll just stick to your fingers. So just lay it all in there. And I'm gonna put one more on. If I can get a hold of it. Okay. Ah, let go. Oh, now I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Okay, one more layer of clear.
And Stacy got it. Shrinky dinks.
Oh, yes, that's right. I do remember doing those. And yeah, it does kind of have that look to it. For sure.
And then
I mean,
wasn't there like a gummy type thing that we used to eat that was like that too? Not the fruit roll-ups, but something else.
A gummy type thing.
Somebody will get it, probably Stacy, because he remembers everything.
He remembers everything. I don't remember that stuff.
I mean, I remember visions. It's scary.
I remember My Little Ponies. That's what I remember.
Well, that's because you look like My Little Pony with your hair.
I love My Little Ponies. Okay, so here, I hope you can see the bubbling that's in that. It is so cool.
Push it away from you now.
Okay.
There we go. There you go. Now kind of angle it like, there you go. When you move it a little bit, people can see the different sides of it. Incredible.
So there's lots of bubbles in this one. It's so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to put that one in the dehydrator and I'll check the other one. So this one, it's not quite ready yet. I can manipulate it a little bit more on the edges now because it's starting to quote unquote crust or dry. If you don't like the shape of the petal, this is where you can manipulate the shape and position it better, shape it better than the way you had it before if you don't like the way it was. But don't dive into the middle. The middle is definitely not dry.
All right. Catherine Donner said, incredible edibles. I just remember you peeled them off the backing and then ate them and they were like gummies. And it wasn't fruit roll-ups. It was different.
Weird, because I only remember fruit roll-ups with that. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're young, just like Carol just said. You're so young. Becky Norton says, looks like dewdrops. And Carol Ann said you would put the shrinky dinks in the oven to shrink what you're making. Yeah, that's the way shrinky dinks worked. Fruit by the foot. Nope, that's not it. I still eat those once in a while. It was before the fruit by the foot and the fruit roll-ups. It was before that.
Oh. I don't know. Okay. So
it was made from apricot. Yes, that's what it was, Jackie Grace. I knew I'm not going nuts. I remember.
Okay, so I'll show you.
Somebody will get it.
Oh, I'll show you. This is the flour that I did for my top hat cookie for That Takes the Cake, Julia Usher's cookie competition. It's a 3-dimensional cookie. But there's the Sólo flour. It did get a little smooshed on the way home, but it didn't break. Look at that. It didn't break at all. Look how strong it is. And the cool thing is, once it's dry like this, you can just add a little bit of a spritz of water or a little paper potion if you want to, and let it set in. And then you can manipulate those petals again to bring them back out, which I haven't done yet, but I plan to, because it was more flower shaped when we were in Texas. So it had more movement and curl to it. It was beautiful. But, you know, traveling across the country into another country.
It's gorgeous. I love the look of that. And the judges, even before anything was really announced, they were coming over saying, we saw a flower out there. And yeah, so they're asking us about it. So you wowed those judges.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad. I didn't win anything with this cookie, but it was so cute. And I love my flower. It was awesome.
Well, you got the attention of those judges, that's for sure.
Well, that was cool. That was fun. I had fun. It was good. Okay, so now once the petals are dry, I'm trying to find one that is singular. Okay, here it is. So once it's dry, I peel it off, and I don't know if you can see it. It looks
Closer to you. Move it closer to you.
me.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep, perfect centered.
So it looks kind of like plasticky on the back, kind of like those shrinky dinks. But on the front side, it has all that beautiful texture that it makes it look like it is a fantasy flower, but it makes it look like it could possibly be real. You know, it has that real feel to it in the look of it. So what I did with this one, I'll show you on, I guess I'll do it on these ones. I took
so pretty
some of Pepsi Cake's highlighter, bling highlighter dust. And I'm going to get this. And this is why I keep all my acetate, because then I can control where all the dust goes, or at least try to. So I'm just going to take my bling highlighter dust and open it up.
You can get that dust on the Icing Images website. I will put the link there for you in just 1 second.
Yes, it's right on the website. And they're beautiful and you will love them, and they go a very long way. I've had these for a long time. So then I don't dust the back of it with this color. I dust the front of it. This is the front to me. So the back is that shiny part. I want to do the outside edge and the front of it. So I just take that bling highlighter and just start laying it on. And you can do it as heavily or as lightly as you'd like. Because again, it's all personal preference on how you want your flower to look. But this just adds so much more zing to them. They're so pretty. And if
I'm
you
putting
wanted
up
to,
links, guys, for you. Sorry.
That's okay. If you wanted to, you could paint a little bit in here to add more detail on these veins. I like it personally just this way. But you could if you wanted to, or you can just add a darker color of dust into the middle of the flower to pull it out. It's just, again, whatever you'd like to do, but that gives it that nice shimmer. I don't know if you can see that on there or not.
Oh yeah, that is so pretty. It's
just beautiful. So then on the back side, to really accentuate that color, now I have some of Pepsi Cake's silver in here. Where is my bottle so I can show it to you? Here's Pepsi Cake's silver highlighter. And I keep it in this so I can paint with it sometimes. So I just let it air dry because I usually use water with it or lemon extract. And then I'm not wasting any of it because nobody wants to waste stuff, especially this stuff because it's so amazing. So just
it looks to me, when you held that one up, it looks like part of a butterfly wing.
And it could be. It definitely could be. Or it could be even a heart. Like this way you could piece them together as a heart. They'd be really pretty, like stuck in the side of a cake, going up the sides of the cake. It feels kind of like the texture of it when I'm holding in my hand. It feels kind of like rice paper, like a rice paper sail, or the thickness of it. But it's just so much, to me, it's so much more beautiful than rice paper. So then on the back side, what I do is take a little bit of this silver and brush that on. And that reflects the light and just makes everything look even more sparkly. And you can put as much or as little on as you want. So there is the cute little petals.
They're adorable.
I love them. So now this one is really dry. So what I can do, and I should have done this before I dusted it, but I'll show you now. Take a little bit of paper potion. This is not in your kit. You'd have to buy this separately. Just take a little bit of paper potion, squirt it on the back side of your petals, and just let them set. And within probably, I'm going to say about 15 minutes, that paper potion will set into these, and you'll be able to move them and bend them and manipulate them into a shape that you want. Because these ones kind of flattened out with me. I had taken these to Texas too, and they flattened out in travel. This one still has a little bit of movement to it. But they're so pretty. I just love them. I love them. I love my little petals. And the other thing is, this is the other thing. I left this on here so I could show you. If you have a piece that juts out like this and you don't like it, you can just trim it off and just save that piece for later to make another one. These would make great fish tails, mermaid tails, you know, anything like that. They're so beautiful. So yeah, I keep trying to, I want to bend it, but it's not letting me. It's just going to snap if I try to bend it because it's too dry. Let's see if this one has given me any. Nope. So it needs a little bit longer to just sit so I can manipulate it. But that gives you an idea of what to do if they dry out on you. Just add a little bit of moisture and then you can manipulate them back into the shape. So it's pretty cool. So once your flower is done.
Stacy said he was impressed that it didn't shatter when you cut it. And Marilyn O'Neill says, oh, pretty. Do they take on moisture over time? Looks like a good alternative to glucose-baked bubble sugar for higher humidity.
Right. One thing I noticed when it was in Texas, it was fine inside. It held its shape. It didn't get too pliable. I mean, I could still bend it a little like I can right now, but I couldn't really manipulate it. But then I left it out on the porch when we were, we were in Austin at whatever house we were staying at. And I had left it out on the porch when we were getting ready to leave for San Antonio. And it was humid out that day. So it actually took on the humidity and I was able to manipulate it again. So it had been gone from this form to a more pliable form. So I just snapped that one. Oops. There's a, that was a styrofoam ball from when I took it to Dallas. Anyway, so it will, in a humid space, it will take on the humidity, but it won't melt. It'll hold its shape. It'll just be that you can manipulate it and bend it or whatever, you know? So it's really quite cool how versatile it can be. Yeah, I just snapped that one. Trying to bend it. So to put the flower together, what I did, and I'm just going to actually show you by gluing this one back together. I just put a little daub of the little honey's glue and then just press it into place and hold it for a couple of seconds until it actually adheres to each other, each petal, because this is actually two petals together that are already glued. And then I can take this one, and I'm not liking this bottom piece. I'm actually going to trim that piece off. Just get it over here. So it's probably going to shoot across my table, but whatever.
I keep seeing butterfly wings.
Oh, totally. Or fairy wings or anything. I mean, it's just so, yep, it did shoot right across my table. Whoops, there's another piece. So again, don't throw those away. Keep them because you can still use them to make more petals or butterfly wings or leaves, whatever you want to make. So this one actually could easily be a butterfly by putting it together like this. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just add some little honeys and then stick those pieces together so they attach. And then what you would do from here is sit it so that it has it, you're forcing it to have movement as it dries. So you could take a scribe and slide it underneath the one set of wings, and then you could take a paintbrush and set it under the other set of wings, and then you have movement because you've got this shape. Then it's drying in this shape, I should say. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. So yeah, so that is how to do those. I'm going to check I'm hoping that the ones that are in, I'm actually going to set this off to the side. I'm hoping the ones that are in the dehydrator are drying enough that I can show you how to check them, see if they're done. Okay, this one, can you see it's kind of, when I do this, it wrinkles.
Yeah, it can cause another effect too, which somebody may, you know what I mean?
Yep, and it can. It definitely can. But that's just telling you it is not completely dry. What you can do is take a tool and just lift up on that edge just to see how it's doing. And it is still quite gummy underneath. So it's not ready to peel. But you'll know when it's ready to peel because when you lift it up, this piece is going to just kind of flake up and you can gently peel it off. If the middle isn't completely dry, it's okay because that gives you room to play with it and add that movement in, whatever you want it to be. If you
that's
want it to
very
be a
similar
wing
to
or
flex
petal.
frost. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you're describing is so similar.
Yeah. Yep. So that's how this works too. But again, that's when you do this, you know it's not dry. When you can see the wrinkle effect, you know it's not quite dry. Okay. And so you just pop it back in the dehydrator or in the oven and let it go a little longer. So how much time do we have, Debbie?
We have another like 15 minutes, but we have a question from Lisa. She says, can you put that directly onto buttercream or is it necessary to wire it?
I think you could put it on buttercream. I haven't tried it that way, but
you should be able to because
I can't see it being a problem.
Yeah, because Jessie and Riley put it straight on cellar sheets straight on buttercream. It was beautiful.
That's right. That's right. And because it's so thick compared to what it started out as just the thin sheets, because there's layers of it, I don't think the buttercream will affect it at all.
No, I don't think it will either.
No, I don't think it will.
Carol says she can see cello and isomalt petals together. That would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be. And actually, I can show you a petal. Oh, wait, no, I didn't do it. I had one, but it's not done with these ones, not the same way. So I won't show it to you because it's not quite the same technique. But anyway, okay. What? I can see it and I can't pick it up. Come here. Get off of there. Okay, there's one piece. Here's another piece. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the other technique. So this is the second new technique that Debbie had advertised about.
It's awesome.
And this is going to save people a lot of money. A lot of money.
It's very similar to another technique,
It is.
but it gives a different look to it.
It gives a different look, but it also is using a different product than the other one. So that's the difference. So
it's really cool.
It's really cool. So it's the same kind of concept. I take a piece of cello, dip it in water, get it good and saturated, and then lay it down on something like a silicone mat or whatever. But I would prefer, what I've tried anyway, to not put it down on mats like this, the perforated mats or the baking mats. Put it down on something like this or a silicone mat. The reason is it will get stuck a lot easier onto this than it will onto this. It'll peel off quite easy.
What about your acetate sheet? Will it work on that?
Oh, yes. That's actually what I meant to put it on was the acetate. So I'll do it on both.
Okay.
Squirrel.
That's what I remember you doing.
Yeah, I did. I did it on the acetate. So I'll do it on this one and then I'll do it on the other one. So whoops. I'm going to take a little bit more here and dip it. Get it good and saturated. Just kerplunk it. Oh, I lost a piece in there. Come back. No, I hate it when that happens. It sunk to the bottom and stuck to the dish. Oh, well. There. So I've got a good amount there. I'm going to let it set in to itself. So it gets good and gooey. And while that's doing that, I'll take my acetate and do my acetate one. Okay. Move these. There we go.
Bye, Carol.
Carol's leaving us?
Yes.
Carol.
Love you, Carol.
Love you, Carol. Bye.
Catch it on the replay. I'll go. I think you saw this at the show.
She might have.
This is why you want to come to our booth on shows. We experiment.
Then this. This was kind of a happy accident is what happened that I
Yes.
discovered this one. So I'm just dipping it in the water, laying it down, just like the other. And I'm going to get another piece here. Okay. Whoops. So get it nice and saturated and lay it on top. Okay, so that one I'm going to let sit in because this one over here is probably ready to work with. Okay. So here
Guess
we
what?
have what?
Pepsi's in the house.
Hi, Pepsi. So here we go with. Let me see.
Oh, Carol was saying goodbye to the cello piece at the bottom of the cup.
Oh,
She's not leaving.
she's not leaving. Yay, she didn't leave. Okay, so I'm going to do this with, let's see. I'll do gold on this one. Again with Pepsi Cakes Bling Highlighter.
Woohoo! That's Pepsi's. That Pepsi Garcia lady that we just saw on there, that's her stuff. We sell it.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's very beautiful. Okay, so I'm not shy with this when I put it on here.
Are you ever shy with anything?
No, never.
Okay. So
And
it's wet right now, right?
This is wet, and I'm just tapping this on. Just giving a little tapperoonie, tappy tap.
Pepsi says she loves, love your work.
Thank you. So, like, I am loading it on, like, and when I say loading it, you still have tons of Pepsi Cake Bling Highlighter in there. Like, it goes so far. It's great stuff.
I know.
But I don't care that I'm missing some spots. That's okay. Doesn't matter that we're missing some spots.
I know when I first saw her the little container, I was like, that's it. And then we realized how far it goes. Yeah, that's it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, but it's a lot in there.
It is a lot
It goes
in here.
such a long way. And the
Well, I
quality
think I've had these for like 6 months and I use them all the time. And I've hardly made a dent in them. Like hardly at all. It's great. It's great stuff. Okay. So now that I've got that there, I'm going to take a scraper and I'm just going to scrape it together just like this.
Great. We're no scraping.
So I'm actually pulling it right off onto my scraper and smushing it back down. So pull it off and smush it. Look at that color. Look at it.
Ah!
It's gorgeous. So then the beauty of this little technique is we're making gold foil. So see all of this, all that thin stuff that it looks like there's nothing there. There actually is gold there. You let it dry and all of this, like look how much that makes. That was just a tiny bit of cello, but it makes so much gold. So once it's dry, what I try to do is take these thicker spots off because I don't want it super thick.
I know it looks like there's nothing there.
It does. It looks like there's absolutely nothing there. Well, there is.
Because I saw her person.
There really is.
Yeah, you can see it like that. That was good.
So, and then look at all of that that's left. So
that's a lot.
You don't throw that away. You just take another piece of acetate and spread it right on there. And you can do it. Some gold leaf is thicker than other gold leaf. But again, it's just that personal preference, whatever you want to do. So you could start out with a thick base and peel it back here. And it's so thin back here. It'll be beautiful when it dries. It'll be nice and flowy. And basically, when this dries, it acts like true gold leaf. It looks like true gold leaf. It even flows like true gold leaf.
Yeah, that's what was neat.
It's so cool. So I'm just going to thin it out a little bit more. Carolyn
Hughes says, press it in a mold. I wonder if you can do that as well.
I bet you could. But you'd have to leave it to dry for quite some time, right?
Yeah, because it's watered down cello.
Right. Yes. And it is very watered down. Like this one is, I probably put more water on this than I did on the petals, just so I could spread it easily. So there's that's a good shot of how thin that is because you can see through it in most places, but it's going to make beautiful gold leaf. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, Irenia did this with wafer paper. So if you don't have Sólo, you can do it with the wafer paper as well. It's just sometimes you have what you have, you know,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I got to grab another brush because I just realized I totally got that one bunged up with. Oh, gold.
Catherine Donner asked a question. When it dries, does it pull off of the acetate as a sheet or does it come off in pieces?
It comes off, honestly, as a sheet. Like this will come off as a sheet. No, but you can rip it into pieces. Like this one won't come off as a sheet just because of how I put it on there. I can peel pieces off. So, but that's what gives it the beauty of it, because it looks so much like true gold leaf. So in this one, I'm going to do rose gold. Can you see that one, Debbie? Or am I too far away?
Can you move it? Yeah, move it a little bit away from you.
Okay.
Your mat.
Okay, I'm just going to set that one aside.
Pepsi wants to know if you can dehydrate it to rush the process.
Yeah, you sure can. And this one, this doesn't take as long as the petals to dry. And a dehydrator will work. Or if you're putting it in the oven, I wouldn't put it necessarily on the acetate. I would put it on silicone.
Actually, the acetate, our acetate will hold up to that.
Oh, it will? See, I wasn't sure, so I thought, oh, I don't know if it would. But if it does, sweet. That's
you can pour isomalt on it, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Duh.
Okay. All right, we have a lot of comments. So Pepsi says, can you dehydrate it to rush the process? I asked that.
Yep.
Jesse said, you can leave it on the acetate and wet it and do the same technique. And when dry, it comes off. I think that's what we're doing, unless I'm misunderstanding, which is very easy in my head. Carol Fisher says, as long as you have a thin, even spread of Sólo, it will come off, I think is what she's saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll come off. It won't get stuck on there.
Yeah, no, it comes off nicely.
It comes off beautifully.
Sort of like those apricot things we used to eat that peeled off the backing. Stacy Barr said, I wonder if you could take the silicone matte version and press the gold leaf onto the side of the cake.
Oh, I wonder. I don't know.
You probably have to peel it first, then put it back on the sheet, and then put it on the cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably.
So it's released first.
And see, the reason I'm doing this way, I should have said that, is, and not just leaving it, because I could have spread the Sólo sheet out first before I put the gold on it. But what I wanted to do is mix the gold into the Sólo, so it's fully gold.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So there's no need to go back after it's dry and do the back of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's already mixed.
Carol Ann said flour molds. Very true.
Yeah.
And Carol said, oh, Stacy Barr, I see you demoing that. I see Stacy Barr taking sheets of that and using his electronic cutter with it as well. Like you create it, let it dry, and then cut it.
Yeah. So there you have it. That's all there is to it. And just let it dry. And as soon as it's dry, it is beautiful.
Do you have any that's dried by chance?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'm going to pop this one in and see if it'll dry fast enough, because it doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't. It's very thin, which is nice.
Yeah. So I'll take this out again and just give it a check, because I just keep checking them to see if it'll peel. And it's still a little gooey on the back side, so it needs a little more time. But you can see how it's starting to lift.
Oh, yeah.
So another 5 minutes on that one, I'll be able to peel that off and manipulate it.
Carol says, cool. Did you watch last week's live? Oh, yeah, that was funny. Oh, my gosh.
I was there.
I was there. Carol was there. Becky was there. Barb was there. Oh, my gosh.
Was there.
Everybody was there. That was really funny. If you didn't see that, go back. If you want to laugh like really hard, Go back and watch it. It's very confusing at first until you figure out what's going on. And then you're like, now I got it. Pepsi said, how long does it take to dry? Pepsi, it's going to be based on your environment, but the gold leaf doesn't take long to dry because it's so thin.
In Texas, I think it only took like 10 minutes air dry.
Yeah.
When we were there, it was so fast. It was just crazy fast. I couldn't believe it, actually.
Yeah, it's just because it's that thin. That's why.
Yeah, because it's even thinner than it comes in its paper form.
Yeah, which is what's really cool about it,
out.
is it has that same, when you kind of move it around, it has that same effect. I don't think it rips as easy as gold leaf, which I like about it.
No, it doesn't. It had a little bit of rigidity to it, but it still flowed like it.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping I can get this to dry fast enough so you can see it.
And it doesn't blow off your sheet either. I mean, it can, but you know how gold leaf, just like barely any wind goes by. If you talk in front of it, it flies away. This is light, but not quite as light.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just checking my petals again here on the veiners. So this one again isn't quite dry, but it's starting to lift. So I'll soon be able to peel it off of there. So they take time to make the petals, but
Carol Fisher says, thank you, Carol, and so glad Donut Hole was around. I'm not quite sure what that means. It's Donut scary. Hole. Oh, it was from part of last week's live.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just going to let this go back in a little bit longer, but just keep in mind when you go to make the petals that they do take time to dry.
Yeah,
they don't take time to make them. It just takes time to dry them. So if you're needing to get them on a cake right away, choose something else other than this, unless you've made them ahead. That's all I have to say about them, because they are gorgeous, but they take some time just to dry them.
Yeah, I think this is something too. I believe you could probably make ahead and store a bunch of them, I would guess.
Yes. Well, I mean, these ones have been made for, like, this one's been made for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And what I did is I stored it just in a container, an airtight container, and it's totally fine. So I think that they would be fine for ages.
Move it towards you.
Oh, sorry. I think they would be fine for ages.
Yeah.
In an airtight container. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason why that would. So just make sure it's dry.
Yeah. Nice and dry.
Seal it up. And I think you could just you can sit there and make a ton of them one day, store them, and you have them for whenever you need them. And so the time won't matter.
Exactly. You could have them forever.
Forever.
And make fairy wings and make hearts out of them and make petals for flowers. There's so many things you can do with them.
Yeah. Hi, Don. Hi, Baxter. By the way, if you're ever invited to Becky Norton's house to spend the night, do it. She has fairy tale beds. They're the most comfortable beds in the world. And I have comfortable beds because I like my sleep. And I want to be comfortable. Oh my gosh, you lay down and it's like you laid in heaven. That's what it's like. Just saying. It was like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so this has only been in the dehydrator for a couple of minutes, and I'm already able to lift some of that off. Can you see it?
Yep, we can see it.
So I don't know if I can get a hold of it with my gloves on, because that's just a little tiny piece. So I'll try it with my tool. If I can get my tool in here.
It's a tool.
Okay. I'm being really careful with this one just because it's not fully dry.
Yeah.
So this one is going to tear, just so you know.
It's okay.
But that's okay. Okay. So there it is.
It reminds me of peeling sunburn.
Or scabs.
I didn't want to say that. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I
loved peeling scabs when I was a kid. I loved it. I was disgusting. So so there is like the movement and how thin it is. Like, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and you can just kind of, you see how she drops it.
Like,
yeah,
it just like flows, just like just like gold leaf. But you know how gold leaf like sucks to anything it touches?
Yeah.
This you have control of.
Carol Fisher says you can make edible confetti with it. Yes.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beautiful edible confetti.
Absolutely. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
My dogs are up here playing. I'm so sorry if you hear them. Stacy Barr thinks it looks better than the regular, the real gold leaf. That's really expensive.
But I mean, look at that. What did that cost? Pennies? That cost pennies to me. Really.
Yeah.
And it made tons of it. Because I remember I have another full sheet of acetate that's covered in it in the dehydrator right now. So those few little pieces of cello made all of that. It's great. Okay,
Denise, you're not supposed to give positive reinforcement for when we're talking about scabs.
That's a Keely Breeze joke.
She was cracking up at that. No positive reinforcement. No, don't do that.
Funny.
Yes, Laura, you can make all that ahead and store it. I would actually just leave it on the acetate, make sure it's good and dry before you package it up.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. Just leave it there. And
Yeah.
Then peel it when you need it. Just use it as needed.
Yes. Or when you have that urge to peel something, just go peel it.
If you don't have a scab to peel that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Stacy Barr said to Carol Fisher, gold leaf confetti, yet another reason not to give you the keys to my car.
Hey, but that, at least it's edible. It's edible.
And water soluble.
And water soluble. It'll be gooey, but whatever.
Oh my gosh. Well, you did amazing. I didn't get everybody's comments out, but I think I got the majority of it.
Okay,
yeah, I know I got the questions done, not all the comments. So you'll have to go back and read how much people love you. So Stacy says that's the bad part, that it's water soluble.
Exactly. Like slimy. We don't want to do that near the pool. It would be everybody be sliding into the pool.
Well, I'm thinking about if you sit on it in your car. Sorry. Carol Fisher says biodegradable.
Love you, Jackie. You're welcome, Karen. You're welcome,
Everybody
Jackie. You're welcome, Barbie.
Yeah, this was a great demo. Thank you. You had 2 new techniques, which is awesome. And that's one reason I love the cello sheets, because they are new and we don't know what we're doing with them yet. you know?
So there's so many different things you can do with them. That's the cool part about the cello sheets. They're not a one-trick pony for sure.
Yeah. Lisa asks, can it be put on buttercream cake overnight in the fridge? Yes, it can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fine.
The comments are coming in fast. Becky says, just think, Stacy, Carol was in my house.
And she didn't shoot off any confetti guns.
I know. That was amazing because she had work to do, I think.
I think so too.
Oh my God. Carol Fisher. She said that could be fun, sliding on cello in the pool. It's magic.
Oh, I was just thinking like this, the slip and slides. Let's just make a cello slide.
Oh my God. Sydney, who's not on now, watch out for the next semi-retreat. I have a feeling there's going to be cello gold leaf everywhere, stuck to our faces.
Oh man, funny.
Well, that was great. Thank you. Yeah, Carol says she slept. Yeah, she did sleep. You and Carol, I'm sure other people, none of them slept at all at Austin. Like never.
No, Carol and I were too busy trying to finish our pieces. Like that was just crazy.
Yeah. So, all right. So cello slide ideas for game night. All right. At least there's not green noses and teeth. Yeah, Carol was green. No, it was. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on real quick because we can talk. Yeah, these shows, everyone. If you haven't gone to these shows, they're pretty amazing. The things that go on, a lot of fun. We have SoFlo coming up in 2 weeks, and right afterwards is CookieCon Ohio. If you are going, please let us know. We are looking for some demoers in some spots. And I know all of you who watch this are amazingly talented decorators, artistes, and we would love to have you. But they're amazing. They're going to be a lot of fun, and there may be some new things talked about. Just kind of saying that there might be some new things, and that's all I have to say. So next week we are going live with Coach Lori and myself and maybe somebody else. We'll see. But it's Blue Night. What that means is she will be using her little blue, aka Bluesy, and she will be showing you some great things that were made that were at the show, all these great, amazing ideas, and also answering questions as well. So come with your questions about the printer. We want to be able to answer them. Yes, Becky Norton loves her Big Blue. What was your Big Blue's name, Becky? I know this.
I can't remember what it is.
Betty Blue.
Oh, right.
I think it's Betty. Yeah, everybody names their blues. It's really, really funny. But yeah, definitely please join us next week. Oh, Deja Blue. Thank you. Sorry. Betty is somebody else's blue. I lose track
Betty
of all
Blue
these.
Is a fun one though. Instead of Betty Boop, Betty Blue.
Somebody has it.
Oh, do they? Cool.
Oh, somebody has the Beast. Rita has the Beast, and I think it's Allison has Betty. That's what it is. So definitely join us next week. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Cool. So contact us if you're calling to the shows. We'd love to know. You can Facebook message us, Instagram message, which I'm not as good at. You guys know how to get us, sales@icingimages.com, chat, all this stuff. We're easy to find. And the kits are available on our website at icingimages.com. And they are under Sólo sheets. So it's icingimages.com/Sólo sheets. And Carol Fisher, I don't even want to know what you're going to. Carol Fisher says mine will be the biggest blue balls.
It, Debbie. You started that one.
Yes, but not on a live. I did not. So. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Happy decorating, my friends. Heather, you're awesome as always. Thanks so much.
Oh, and
happy decorating, guys. See you next week.
Oh, don't forget to go and join my new group.
What?
Creative Sugar with Heather Salmon.
What's it called?
Join it. Creative Sugar with Heather Salmon.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. Yep.
Yep. And that link is also on your kit.
Oh, yes, that's right. Cool.
Yep.
Perfect.
So awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. God bless.